This is an RNZ podcast.
E ngā mano te motu, tēnā koutou katoa, I'm Wiramu. Happy school holidays. What a lineup we have to lead you straight into the break. Let's start with sport. The women's Black Sticks have qualified for the knockout stages of the Hockey World Cup. Go you, held in the Netherlands and Spain. After beating pool favourites England on Thursday, they needed a draw or a win against India on Friday morning to progress to the quarter-finals. And in a 7-goal screamer, the Kiwis won 4-3, which means they'll be up against the winner of Germany and South Africa in the quarter-finals on Wednesday morning. Hey, yet another tragic mass shooting has happened in the US, this time in the city of Chicago on their 4th of July. That's America's Independence Day. Guns are legal to carry in the USA and it's relatively easy to get a gun license. This means Americans can carry high-powered semi-automatic rifles, which is what authorities believe was used in the Chicago shootings. That brings the total of mass shootings in the USA to more than 310 so far this year alone, with over 22,000 people dying because of gun violence. The famous roar of the shot-over jet on the river in Queenstown is about to become more of a whisper. Prototypes of carbon-free electric jets are the latest project from South Island iwi, Ngāi Tahu, and it's planned to be carbon neutral by 2050. The famous red jet boats operating out of Queenstown and Taupo will be converting from petrol to battery over the next 9 years. It's not just on the water the iwi are making changes though. They have an 88-point plan to combat emissions, including reducing methane gas, mainly cow farts, and putting solar panels on their marae. Too much. Thor the film is back for the 4th time. Thor 4, Thor. Love and Thunder, released on Thursday, marks the 29th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kiwi Taika Waititi and Aussie Chris Hemsworth have teamed up again after the hugely successful Thor Ragnarok. This time the Norse god takes on Christian Bale, Batman, as Gore the God Butcher. The film also brings back fan favourite Natalie Portman for the first time since 2013's Thor 2. Waititi says it's full of local Easter eggs, even the mention of Tumatoinga, a Māori god. Minecraft YouTuber and personality Technoblade has passed away from cancer at age 23. With over 11 million subscribers, the Minecraft star released a YouTube clip just hours before his death titled, "So Long Nerds." He said that if he had another 100 lives, then he would be Technoblade every time, as those were the happiest years of my life. In response to his passing, Microsoft, who own the game, have updated the splash screen to include a pig with a crown, which was his avatar. Nice touch. In one of the strangest competitions televised, competitive eater Joey Chestnut won his 15th consecutive hot dog eating contest. To continue his dominance of this irrelevant and ridiculous sport, Chestnut smashed 63 wieners, 63 buns in just 10 minutes to win the generally forgettable mustard belt. He's undoubtedly the goat of gluttony, causing massive internal damage to his digestive system, and he's probably on track to diabetes. He's a true American icon. Speaking of iconic, just what does that actually mean? And what makes the Kiwi icon? Check it out.
From the Silver Fern to pavlova, the Buzzy Bee to LMP, let's take a look at where New Zealand icons come from. Across the world, different countries have different items, foods, animals and people that have become iconic throughout history.
In New Zealand, we call this Kiwiana. Our icons are made up of all the weird, wonderful and quirky things from years gone by that contribute to our nation's pop culture.
Popular culture refers to a set of beliefs, practices or objects that broadly share meaning within a social system.
We see Kiwiana everywhere. Let's peek back at the origin story of a few, such as the Silver Fern.
The punga is a significant plant to Māori, and it had many uses, one of which is that it was used as a trail marker. The silver underside of the fern was highly visible in the moonlight, so the leaves were placed on the ground as markers.
In 1888, the Silver Fern became a national icon when it was offered as a symbol to represent the Māori proverb,
Mate atu he toa, ara mai he toa. When one warrior dies, another arises. Mate atu he te kura, ara mai he te kura. When one fern dies, another emerges. The Silver Fern is now a national symbol for both our army and our sports teams. Other Kiwi icons have become widely recognisable due to their popularity. How cute is the Buzzy Bee? This icon was first created in 1940, and it was such a popular toy we continue to buy it for our kids today. Food is another great part of our iconic pop culture. Where would we be without Wattie's sauce, L&P or Marmite?
Then there's the pavlova, a classic Kiwi dessert. but you might find yourself in a bit of debate with our buddies from across the ditch.
In New Zealand, we understand that a Wellington chef invented this dessert after ballerina Anna Pavlova visited in 1926, modelling it after her tutu. However, Aussies claim that a chef from Perth created the dessert in honour of Anna. In either case, we're just happy it came to be. Yum! Oh, here's another goodie, kiwi onion dip. Back in the 1960s, Rosemary Dempsey was employed by Nestle to experiment with different foods. Best job ever! She was the first person to mix onion soup powder with reduced cream, and ta-da! Greatness was achieved. Thank you, Rosemary! So, you see, some icons have a deep history, others become popular via consumption, and some are just beautiful experiments.
I'm Evie York, and this episode was made by TVNZ and RNZ and is public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air. You or your parents can follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or just about any podcast app. Plus, you can watch News to Me on TV2 on Friday afternoons, catch it on demand, or listen to it just before the 7 o'clock news on Saturday mornings on RNZ National.